Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen.
I don't believe you.
Kobe, we had kind of a lively debate here in the pregame show about Kobe Bryant at 21 and Michael Jordan at 21. You have guys like Charles Barkley and Michael Finley and Kenny Smith all debating this, trying to figure out if you're a better player at that age than Michael Jordan was.
Rob, D-Fish, it made me look good. And it's good to play with the best player in the world on your team because it makes stuff a lot easier. And it's good to play with the best player in the world on your team.
When it comes to the career of one Kobe Bean Bryant, we all know he was a 5-time champion, 18-time All-Star, and one of the deadliest scorers to ever lace them up. When looking at Kobe's lasting impact, it goes beyond the stats, iconic moments, even to a certain degree, beyond his skill set. As the lasting impact of Kobe more so deals with his mindset, work ethic, and his stance on winning and the pursuit of championships.
And then from that moment on, I knew we spoke the same language. It doesn't matter if we had disagreements with any other, our drive to win, like we have to win. There's no other option.
Why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports?
Yeah, it's funny, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all.
You know, we have a million and one excuses that we could go to. Fact of the matter is, we're not going to make any.
You know, our season has been derailed all season with just like injuries and guys in and out, and you know, I talked about it all year.
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I'll push myself to exhaustion.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
For an NBA superstar to be a cutthroat winner, a win-at-all-cost player, that is a lost art, especially in today's NBA. As looking at the culture of basketball nowadays, what's all about is stats, your brand, and your individual accolades. Now, looking at Kobe's actual career, one thing that's being rewritten on the fly is his time in the early 2000s alongside Shaquille O'Neal.
Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen.
He's lying.
But I ain't never seen a 21-year-old guy, you 22 now?
Yes.
Play as well as you playing right now.
Kobe Bryant had his best game of the finals with 36 points in Game 3. He's 23, already a superstar, and now on the verge of winning his 3rd NBA championship.
I see his work ethic every day. He's very humble, and he has everything. It's nothing that kid can't do.
Kobe came alive in Game 3 after playing a subservient role in Games 1 and 2. His numbers for the final terrific across the board. His complete game on full display.
In 2002, with 3 rings, we were still comparing T-Mac, who was better in the league. You couldn't convince the NBA down the middle who was better.
So stopping that right there, some pretty asinine points that under scrutiny really don't hold up. As looking at the McGrady versus Kobe debate, this conversation in the 2000s was a legit debate. That's not entirely false. But the debate what it centered around was who was the better overall player, more skilled, more talented basketball player. What this debate was not about was who was the greater overall player, as Kobe since day one was indeed just that. It's like Duncan versus Garnett. Timmy in 03, the far greater player, 2-time champion, and 2-time MVP. Garnett, 0 championships, 0 MVPs, and as a player was great, but wasn't as great as Tim Duncan. Was he better than Timmy? You can make that case. Greater? Absolutely not.
Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
You sure about that?
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs.
It's off to McGrady, picked up by Lynch. McGrady.
What would you say you do here?
Here's how you got ridiculed. Y'all were up 3-1 one time, and you thought y'all had it in the bag.
Can't find that.
Oh, no.
Can't find.
What I'm talking about when you went against Detroit.
Yeah. The Pistons survive 3 elimination games. Down 3-1.
So stopping that right there when it comes to T-Mac, I don't want to bash this guy too much. But looking at McGrady's overall career compared to his talent, it was severely underwhelming. Because again, T-Mac the individual player 6'8", a great handle, a great jump shot. This guy offensively could do anything and everything at his peak. But like a lot of more players nowadays who are ringless, was McGrady go-to off the jump? You know, I never had help, my teammates weren't that great, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if, this, that, XYZ hypothetical.
Boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
And looking at prime T-Mac from 02 to 08, this guy didn't have the most stacked rosters, but had capable rosters that at least once should have made it past the first round. In 02 versus the Hornets, that series was very, very winnable. They lost in 5. 03 versus the Pistons, a better Pistons team. No, they weren't the favorites, but they were up 3-1, blew that series. 05 versus the Mavs, losing in 7 games, a hard-fought series, but again lost in the first round. Then 07 and 08, who they lose to back-to-back. Not the Spurs, Mavericks, Suns, but the Utah Jazz.
I just never had the chance, so do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
And here's the big-time kicker. 2009, T-Mac gets traded, he's not a Rocket anymore. What do they do in the postseason? They take the eventual champion Lakers to 7 games, and Yao Ming that series missed 4 total games. So Tracy McGrady all this time later kind of painting with a broad brush, they never had help, never had a chance. That is inherently false. And what we're talking about is first round wins. I'm not talking championship East Finals appearance, I'm talking 1 series win. Prime T-Mac never did that in Houston or Orlando.
Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship?
And look, when it comes to three-peating, that's not some easy feat everyone could do. Just plug and play, Kobe's out, T-Mac's in, they three-peat automatically. That's not how stuff works in hypotheticals, especially in reality. And looking at those championship runs, even in 2000, Shaq at the peak of his powers, in shape playing defense. Even that year's championship run was a tough title run down to the wire. Look at Game 4 in Indy. Shaq fouls out, the series is 2-1, LA's up, but Indy has all the momentum, can tie it 2-2. Kobe in the fourth quarter in OT, 12 points, 6 makes, 3 misses, and crucial buckets down the stretch in the fourth and OT.
Here he is over Jackson. Shaw running one-hander, followed in by Kobe Bryant.
And here's one more point I do want to make. When it comes to Kobe hypotheticals, here's one nobody ever makes. How many players in league history got Pau Gasol as their second best player, make 3 finals, and go back-to-back in the Western Conference? Why that hypothetical isn't asked nearly as much is the answer to that question is much more complicated. The number of players who could do that is damn near 1.
Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I love nowadays how NBA analysts, NBA quote-unquote experts, can just say things put out of their ass and it's taken as gospel the truth and nobody pushes back, not even once. As saying Kobe in the early 2000s was viewed as Pippen and not Jordan, that's completely asinine and not true. You can look at commentators, coaches, even Kobe's own teammates, and the comparison is always MJ, never Pippen.
He ain't lying.
And look, in a general sense, saying someone's a Pippen, not a massive insult because Scottie was a great player in his own right. But looking at that three-peat Kobe was not a Pippen in every single championship run. As looking at 2000, is the only one out of the bunch you can argue he wasn't a Robin and a clear-cut number 2 to Shaq's 1. But besides that, if you want to look for a Pippen-esque championship run, 01 and 02 are not the runs to look at. As Kobe in 01, absolutely phenomenal, superstar stuff, and borderline best player in the NBA type numbers. As scoring-wise, 29.4 points a game, 7.3 boards, 6.1 dimes, on 47% shooting, being 30 defensive win shares, and 10th in defensive rating. For that Lakers team in 01, debatably, they're the 2 best players in the league, in Kobe and Shaq, with AI being a close third. And looking at Kobe's scoring ability, in the West Semis and West Finals, the Lakers' leading scorer at 33 and 35 points per game respectively. In Sky's entire career, not once did he outscore MJ in a playoff series, and only once cracked 25 points per game. Kobe in this run did that multiple times and outscored Shaq in 2 out of the 4 series. Now, looking at 2002 in pursuit of a three-peat, Kobe's overall numbers did not scream Scottie Pippen, as in this run, 27 points, 6 boards, 5 dimes on 43% shooting.
He was considered the next Pippen.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, the bottom line's pretty simple. Pippen in his own right was a great player. Was he the player Kobe was in 2002, 2001? Absolutely not, as Kobe's overall offensive ceiling was much higher, and defensively was second team twice and first team once. Now, one last thing I do want to hit on is Gilbert Arenas being a quote-unquote Kobe fan. As looking at Gil's all-time list as of yesterday, he had Kobe second all-time, ahead of LeBron, and only behind Jordan.
The 3 greatest players are the following: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, in that order.
Cap. See, stop making, nigga, you know my goddamn order. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. Once LeBron James is solidified, you are the GOAT, Jordan swindles. That's why niggas is like, yo, why nobody talk about Kobe being the great? Because he got surpassed already. Yep. There's no point in talking about number 3. It's only 1 and 2 now.
The reason that I feel LeBron is the GOAT is because during pressure times, he still makes the actual right decision.
You know, Jordan's my GOAT, right? You know, just like, you know, most of everybody. LeBron James is second, Kobe's third.
So when discussing Gilbert's all-time list, honestly, I don't really care. Make your list however you like. But here's my big-time problem. Gilbert's list always changes based on who he's talking to and who he's debating. As you've seen over and over again, he'll say LeBron's the best, LeBron's top 2, then all of a sudden Kobe surpasses him based on really nothing. At the end of the day, here's what's happening. Gil's take on Kobe recently got him tons of backlash. So what does he do to offset that? He says, you know, I don't hate Kobe, he's in my top 2 all time. And for the past month, past year, that's never been the case. What you have with Gilbert Arenas is a snake oil salesman's opinion fluctuates with the wind and is popular in the moment. This month, Kobe's top 2 all time, that's popular. In 5 months, LeBron James, him being top 1, that'll be popular. Gil's list will change. Here's all I ask. When it comes to Kobe's career, Kobe's ranking, get your story straight. Was he Pippen? Was he not Pippen? Did he value championships? Did he not value championships? Is he second all time? Is he third, fourth, or fifth? At some point, make up your mind, have a take, and stand on it for longer than 2 weeks at a time. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.